What's the deal, y'all? It's your boy Rich Trapper, tapping in, TNN Trapping News Network, back in this thing, like Cook, cracking this thing, man. Tap in with the tap in. If you ain't tapped in with that tap in, I'm on my way to fight training. I got to fight this weekend, so I got to go get some things done. But real quick, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm giving y'all a Young and Hefe style video. Shout out to Young and Hefe. Don't care about nothing but what the checks say. This ain't the Hef effect, but shout out to him. If you need the Hef effect, if you need the Hef effect, slide over to Young and Hefe's page. I'm finna give y'all this quick little 1-2 step from ADAM22 though. He's speaking on, I guess, allegedly being accused of, not even allegedly, he's speaking on being accused of not going with Brick Baby while Brick Baby's being locked up. So we finna run this clip for y'all, man. I'm finna give y'all my Young and Hefe style video. We finna get into this content without no further do's or don'ts, man. Let's get into it. Let's go.
All right, we're back. The ADAM22 channel. It's been long dormant, ignored, turned my back on it, to be totally honest. But solo content. I'm going to be real. I haven't done it in a long time, but I feel like I got something to say. I don't always want to wait for the podcast. I don't always want Lush breathing down my neck, getting in the way of my topics. Shout out to Lush. But today, you already know what I'm going to talk about. Brick Baby, I'm coming for you. So let me explain. I was in Turks and Caicos for approximately 1 week, and it came down the pipe while I was out there, pause, that Brick Baby had some choice words for the 22 stir, and today we're going to be reacting to those words. So let's get right into it.
Hey, what's that big old deal, man? It's the Brick, man. Why everybody laid up with their feet up out there vacationing, playing like they ain't got nothing for the kids, man. You already know we still keeping it strong. Nigga don't need nothing for. Hey, sometimes it be a mental test to see where a nigga hard at in his chest, man. You know what I'm saying? A motherfucker use you, abuse you. As soon as you get out the way, they act like they ain't worried about losing you. You know what I mean?
Okay, so if you didn't catch it, this is a thinly veiled shot at the 22 stir. I was on vacation. I did have my feet kicked up, but let's talk about Brick Baby, and in particular, the financial side of my relationship with the brick, not the trick. When Brick Baby came on the platform 2 years ago, pretty quickly, the feds ran up in his crib and raided him. He needed money to get out. Now, it's been discussed at length that I fronted him an amount of money, $5,000, so that he could get out the same day that he was picked up. I know WACK100 and a few other people have been spreading information saying that this was cap. I don't know. Honestly, the other day in the Reddit, somebody posted information saying that he really did have a bail and that was where the $5,000 went. I never really heard about it. I heard rumors in the streets that maybe this money was not required for him to be bailed out, that he didn't have a bail, but I did see these screenshots in the Reddit that make it seem as if he did have a bail. I didn't make a big deal out of it. I gave him the money, had to get him back out on the streets. I knew that he had potential. I knew that I could take him from being a marginal figure in the LA podcasting space to being one of, if not the most talked about person in the podcasting space, which is exactly what has happened over the course of the past couple of years. Never asked him for the money back. Never asked for it. You feel me? Now, to his credit, for like 2 years after that, he did not ask me for any additional funds. So from my perspective, you know, I was just like, okay, whatever. This is part of doing business. I gave him the $5K. I'm not going to bring it up again. And over the course of those 2 years, my prediction did come true. Brick Baby basically soared to new heights, became one of the most talked about people in the community. And as far as our relationship, I would like to think that we actually became something like friends. We got closer and closer, spent time hanging out various times, went out to a lot of different parties and stuff, basically formed a relationship that honestly was a little bit more developed than the type of relationship that I've formed with most of the hosts that No Jumper has had over the years. Fast forward to a couple months ago, Brick Baby reaches out to me again, asks if he can borrow a couple $1,000s for, I don't know, he's like moving into a new spot or some shit like that. I said, okay. Didn't even bring up the fact that I had let him borrow this $5,000. I figured after 2 years, you know, shit, whatever. So I let him borrow this additional $2,000-$3,000. I forget what it was. And then very soon after that, like I'm talking like a week later, he gets picked up by the feds, right? Ever since then, there's been murmurings, people wondering, what is ADAM22 going to do to help out Brick in this situation? Now, from my perspective, I'm $7,000-$8,000 in the hole in terms of money that I have let you borrow, which I'm not really the kind of person who lets people borrow money all the time. Like, of everybody who's ever worked for me, I honestly don't think I can think of a situation in which any of them have borrowed money from me. Like, that's just not really the kind of relationship that I like to have with people who work for me. You know, if it is an emergency, okay, we could do something. But for the most part, this is just not really how I get down. You know, it's like, I don't like to have that kind of thing going on. I pay you for your service and you do the job and we're good. But as far as taking out loans consistently, constantly, I'm not really into it. That being said, it was only 2 times throughout our relationship so far. But I say all that to just set the stage. Then he gets locked up, and people are pretty much automatically, you know, suggesting in the comments, people talking about it on podcasts, is Adam going to pay for his lawyer? Is Adam putting money on his books? Whatever. And I'm going to be real with you. For like the first month that he was locked up.
Now, I will say this, man. Adam already being $7,000-8,000 in the hole with Brick is crazy. I don't know if as a boss I will be lending my employees chili like that back to back the first time. All right, I can see it, whatever. The second time, I don't know, big dog, because I know what I'm paying you, and you know, or if are they not really getting chili like that over there? I know jumping to where you still got to borrow money for your boss. I don't know. That's a theory too. But I can understand now from why that perspective, Adam is like, man, nah, bro, I'm not finna keep contributing to this dude. Like, I'm not finna keep contributing to your decision making. It's like every time you get locked up, you're using me as a bank, you're using me as this, you're using me as that. And you have to think, Adam and Brick didn't know each other. These are not childhood friends. They mamas ain't homegirls. They daddies ain't homeboys. They didn't grow up hanging out, kicking cans together in the neighborhood and all that kind of stuff. Like, they are essentially strangers and boss and employee. So, and then you got to remember this too. Like, Adam has to go home and explain this to his wife, not his girlfriend, not his baby mama, his full-blown wife. Why do you keep contributing to somebody else's household and finances when we got all this going on over here at our spot and all that? You feel me? So, whatever. It sounds like Adam was finna say, I'm finna go back to the clip, but it sounds like Adam was finna say that he has put money on Brick's book and he has, you know, in the beginning looked out for him, but it's finna come to an end because I've already been financially supporting the situation on top of what it looks like as far as paying you and all that. At what point does Adam have to look at the big picture of, I need to get my money back off this situation some kind of way, even if it's only off the content? You feel me? Brick is going to be in jail for God knows how long. He looking at these charges. It's looking like Adam is pretty much giving up hope on the theory that Brick could be coming home. And now he's looking at it as a business. How can I recoup? How can I get my ROI, my return on interest on the situation with Brick, baby? Because again, I've already invested this chili into the situation. All I got left is this content, these monthly payments for YouTube. Well, I can get it off of that. You feel me? And we can run content on them and I can get it off of that. Or I can just take an L. I can't see Adam taking an L. He already said out his own mouth, he's not the type of person to lend people money. But let's get back to it, man. We're going to see how it go.
He didn't ask me for shit. He didn't say anything about it, which I kind of appreciated because I feel like if I just gave you $2,000, and I'm going to be real with you, for like the first month that he was locked up, he didn't ask me for shit. He didn't say anything about it, which I kind of appreciated because I feel like if I just gave you $2,000 like immediately before you got locked up, it is kind of weird for you to get locked up and then be like, hey, like, can I have even more money, especially given this prior debt? Because my thing is like, if you want to get an official verdict on how I'm willing to help you out financially in addition to what I've done for you previously, I feel like you should be upfront about that. I've talked to Brick on the phone a whole bunch of times since he's been locked up, including like the day before this video came out, and it was none of this energy at all. And in addition to that, we've got people like Sharp, who don't got a pot to piss in, who ain't done nothing for Brick, who can't do anything for anybody because he's dead broke. He's coming out, making YouTube videos, doing streams where he's passing judgment on what I've done for Brick. Keep in mind, I've had Brick on salary for 2 years straight. Even when he was missing shows, even when he was out of town doing whatever, never fronted on him in terms of the money. Now we've got Sharp, who, you know, Sharp has never done anything besides sex traffic women and be ugly. And he's out here trying to cast judgment on me. So let's play the Sharp clip.
Pretty much, if he is to get out, or, you know what I'm saying, even hits the streets, they don't want
a strap on him. And I would wonder, of course, that I've heard.
No jumper, no longer. I'm telling you facts. This isn't what I think. No, it's what I know.
So if this is true, this is the first and only source that I've heard from that has specified this in any way. Do I have concerns about Brick Baby returning to the platform? Yes, obviously. That would be kind of interesting, and I would wonder about the level of heat that it would draw to the building. Obviously, things like the gun that they saw in his waistline that I didn't see and that I don't think the comments saw, but that was pointed out in his bail hearing, that he had a strap on him. That kind of thing is the kind of thing that I would want to really be on point with. But the idea that the feds or the cops have told Brick that he's no longer allowed to be on No Jumper, this is a Sharp narrative as of this point. Like, I have absolutely no idea if this is a real thing or not. But it does seem kind of odd if this is something that Brick told Sharp and didn't tell me or anybody else from No Jumper. I mean, keep in mind, Brick and Sharp have had a weird relationship over the years, because when we fell out with Sharp, Brick talked hella shit about him on the platform and then basically continued to be friends with him to some extent, which I always thought was a little strange. But either way, I mean, to me, this is just a completely invented Sharp narrative as far as I know. It's kind of odd that he would know about this and I wouldn't know about this. But let's keep going.
You know, to a lot of you dummies, because it went to prove, because everybody was screaming, oh, they're going to be out on Wednesday. No, they're not. I knew it when it came to the bail hearing and how things play. Like, that is just, they're just giving them that. Now you got to appeal it. And then, to hear, when he was calling, Adam, he ain't answering, or whatever the case may be. He's calling people and they not picking up. Now they're avoiding him. Why is that? Boy, why aren't you answering Brick calls?
Another Cap Sharp narrative. I have not been ducking any phone calls, and keep in mind that his baby mama has been in communication with me, talking to me, telling me what time Brick was going to call and everything. But every time that I got on the phone with Brick, it's been like 2 or 3 minutes of conversation, and then he gets kicked off because I guess he's only allowed to be on the phone for 10 minutes at a time. Never at any point until I was in Turks and Caicos, like right before that other video clip came out, did Brick even utter something that mentioned or inferred that he thought that he should be getting in any way some money from us. So to me, I'm gonna be real with you, I just feel like this is some hoe ass shit. No offense, Brick, I don't really want to use the hoe word when it comes to you or anything, but how are you gonna be out here communicating shit like this to Sharp and not having the nuts to say it to me? And in addition to that, I mean, let's be real about the relationship between an employer and a worker. If Brick had asked me in the beginning, Adam, if I get locked up, will you bail me out? Will you pay for my lawyer, etc.? My response early on probably would have been like, no. Like, I would prefer to not take our relationship to that extent. Like, that's just not something I really go into business with someone being prepared to do. It does leave a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth to realize that Brick is comfortable having conversations about me to Sharp, but won't have that same conversation to me. Like, if you want to borrow money, you can ask me. I was actually kind of looking forward to him asking me so I could have a conversation with him about the fact that he's already in a pretty significant amount of debt to me, but that conversation never came. And then in addition to that, I heard it through the grapevine that Brick basically thought that he was going to keep getting paid. That even though he's locked up and he's not able to contribute to the business by being on camera, that he thought that he was just so locked in that he was going to keep getting his monthly pay each month. I'm sorry. I know you guys all saw the No Jumper is going broke video. We are not in the best financial state right now. Me paying someone to be in federal prison doesn't really seem realistic.
Y'all been making content about them for the last 2 weeks. Why is it that he ain't received a paycheck and motherfuckers is making money off of what he been doing? And I'm hearing that, from reliable sources, his people, done reached out about it, and, they're not getting no feedback on it, no response. I mean, they did have a life before he went to jail, homie. Like, that's what happens at jobs. Like, he don't get his money. And missing out on some bands because he ain't there. Come on, brother. That ain't cool. You supposed to make sure that he got it. His baby mama or nobody ain't received nothing. Like, just even the money that he's owed legitimately for what, the work that he's done. Because I know he got a salary. Why ain't that man received his bread? Like, what's going on?
Sharp is basically alleging that No Jumper has not paid Brick the money that we owe him. Well, he obviously has absolutely no knowledge of this, because I would easily, gladly open up our books and let everybody see the fact that we paid Brick for exactly the amount of time that he was on the podcast. So this is ridiculous. This is just totally fake. Sharp, again, basically a bum at this point. He's on the verge of homelessness. He's going to go back to Vegas and continue his sex trafficking career at the truck stops in Vegas. And apparently he's just trying to get one little tiny moment of clout by calling me out. His YouTube channel is in the fucking dirt. And so he's out here spreading misinformation about me. Sharp, use a hoe. Use a hoe commenting on real business because you've never ran a business. You're doing live streams for 200 people for 6 hours every night. I know this video is not about Sharp, but it's just so hard for me to hold my tongue when it comes to describing what a hoe-ass bitch Sharp is. Okay, let's just go back to the brick thing. I guess I just wanted to make this video to clarify that I'm not on any weird shit. I'm not on any disloyal shit. My perspective is just no, I'm not going to keep you on the payroll while you're locked up. That's just not, that's an abuse of the relationship that you think that we have. It's like there's probably a lot of people in your life that could help you out with money. And I have nothing against giving the guy some money for commissary, helping his girl out with whatever. But it's just at a certain point, you've already worked up a significant debt with me. It takes a lot of nerve to make YouTube videos basically throwing shade at me when realistically I'm probably the person who showed you the most love in recent memory. Now, that being said, Brick, he's locked up. He's detoxing off perks, I'm assuming. So he's probably not in the best mental state. I'm not turning my back on him by any means. I'm just calling out some behavior that I personally don't really agree with and don't care for. So we actually do have plans. We've got some free Brick Baby shirts that we're going to be dropping in the very near future. The proceeds from that are going to him and his family. And in addition to that, we do have a live stream coming up in the very near future, probably by the end of this week. And in that live stream, we are going to be taking all of the donations. Friday is looking like it might be the day. Friday, we might be doing this. All the donations are going to be going to Brick Baby to help him out. That being said, I don't really appreciate some of this weird backstabby type of stuff. You know, honestly, it's just, it leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I feel like you should have more respect for the relationship that we've had over the years and the fact that I've kept you on your feet over the years. But I'm not turning my back on you by any means. We are going to be helping Brick Baby out. And so show up to that live stream Friday. Hopefully we can make it happen Friday. But yeah, ADAM22, free brick. Smack a like. We out.
Now, ADAM22. Calling Brick Baby a 304-zy, don't you nosy? That's crazy. That's some hoe ass. That's crazy. That's crazy. I'm not gonna lie. It do sound a little whoosh. Y'all gonna say what you want to say, but it gave a little, I'm not gonna lie, Adam, it gave a little white privilege. Now, do I think Adam is wrong? No. You owe me 7 bands. Why would I continue to give you money if you're not on camera, you're not contributing to the financial aspect of the situation when you being on camera is literally what pays you? You contributing to this podcast and you being on here and you showing your face is literally what pays you because you get paid to be seen. If you're not being seen, why would I pay you? So I can agree with him 100% on that. Now, was the verbiage appropriate? Hell no. Hell no. Adam gonna talk to you crazy. Adam gonna talk to you crazy. If you get in that position, boy, because I'm willing to bet that if Brick was on the street, that video would be very different. But at the same time, too, Adam is taking into account the reality of the situation that Brick might not be on the streets for a long time. For a long time, and he does again have to recoup. Is Adam cool to still give the super chats and the merch and all that and showing the solidarity and support of Brick Baby? For sure that is. That's love. That's solid. You feel me? Because, you know, that's him using his platform to help Brick Baby's personal financial situation that has absolutely nothing to do with the platform, but still show loyalty to his homie and to his employee. But at the same time, it doesn't take away from Adam's personal financial aspect. You feel me? So I can see all sides of it. I'm gonna just get into this. Adams, you be saying some ish, boy. You be saying some ish, boy. Your name calling be crazy, but you know, your business is your business. All I know is this: be better today than what you were yesterday. Be even better tomorrow. But it's red dots to the left. Y'all know the rest. Free Avenue Angel until he's free. And never forget the video starts off with Adam acknowledging the fact that Lush is an annoying addict. Oh, that perky comment. Wild. Referencing Brick Baby as a junkie? Wild. Now, did you use the word junkie? No, you didn't use the word junkie. But the reference was made, and if you can read between the lines, he was making it seem like, well, nah, Brick don't really mean that. He just coming off them perks, and you know, he hurting right now, and wooty bam this, wooty bam that, so he gonna say whatever, he gonna do whatever. He don't really mean it though, but you know, he coming off them yerks and all that kind of stuff, blah blah blah. So his addiction is getting the betterment of him. Is pretty much what you're saying. He ain't said, but that's pretty much what he's saying. Cold work. Free Avenue Angel till he's free. We gone.